the second edition of the Operator Huddle. The first one was a great success. A lot of people came. Some of you take a little bit longer to join, but yeah, at the end we had quite a lot of members of the community have joined. And for today, for the next around 30 minutes more or less, we have some several interesting topics that we have prepared for you. First, we are going to start with a small presentation that SMC has prepared for us. He's going to show us, as he labeled it, the perfect setup. I don't know if I can put it this way, which is a very optimized and affordable setup. Actually, here on the Discord, the Diva forum, we have a channel dedicated to setups. I invite you all to join us there, and if you have setups that you have done by yourselves that you can show us, or if you're looking for some alternatives, you're looking to build your own, um, you can always come, say hi, check what we propose. And yeah, are you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Well,
Let's roll.
all yours.
Great. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I don't have anything prepared. I just want to improvise, show my stuff, and yeah, that's it.
Oh, it's still some sort of a preparation. You had some things in mind already, so that still counts.
Well, I'm just taking care about my notes every day, so yeah, I would just show you around. Basically, I wanted to show two approaches, like let's say x86 PC based, like a standard computer, and a single board computer ARM based. So this is entirely different CPU architecture. I wanted to share my screen. Yeah, let's try to do that. Yeah, so that's my screen. I wanted to show you what Ethereum Docker is. There is a site like that. And this is not a system, a Linux distribution, but Docker is a kind of a virtualization idea that enables you to have all of this stuff in containers hosted on one system. And this is the stuff I like to use very much because it is basically all in one and it's ready. So I don't have that node here, so I won't show you how it looks, but this is basically a Intel NUC 11th generation. And it has a dashboard, of course. So let's go there. Oh, that's not the dashboard. Sorry.
Sure, let's have a look.
Let's have a look.
This is it. Basically, this is all default stuff. I haven't tuned it in any way, but basically it shows.
For some reason, we're seeing your Discord.
Discord.
I think you're sharing
Shit,
the
why?
different screen.
Oh, that's my mistake. Let me try to do it once again. That should be okay. Yeah, so this is the site I was talking about.
Oh yes, now we can see it.
ETH Docker. Yeah, there are like everything is explained there how to install it, and this is how it looks from the Grafana point of view. So I've got a kind of a monitoring ready, and let's see what was happening here in last 90 days. So as you can see, I was like changing the client because of the bug after the last fork on Go early. Yeah, so basically this dashboard shows me how my execution and consensus clients are feeling at the moment, how many peers I am having.
For how long have you been running this particular setup?
Since August last year, since we started our testnet with Diva.
Amazing, great.
And I wanted to show you how system stats are looking like. Yeah, so basically,
So
all of this CPU usage, memory usage, bandwidth usage, I've got here all of it monitored and logged. So in case of any problems, yeah, I can try to do some troubleshooting. And let's check how our Diva container is feeling at the moment. Where is it? Yeah, so this is our Diva, consuming 2 gigs of RAM, like less than 2 gigs at the moment, using very little of CPU. I've got 8 cores here, so yeah, please be aware that 800% would be the ceiling here. So the CPU usage is very, very low. And this is how it looks like from the command line point of view. You can watch all of the logs here. So this is a consensus client. Let's look on the execution client. Yeah, this is basically the stuff I use to host the Diva testnet. This is nothing special. Oh, wrong path. Yeah, i5 11 generation, really nothing special. I would say this is like average equipment. 32 gigs of RAM. Yeah, and basically that's it. I wanted to start from that because I want to raise another topic that different people are asking me about. Because if you are planning to have a node, it's important that you would need to have a good SSD for that. It has to be reasonably fast. Not every drive is okay. So basically, if you would ask Google good, let's ask good, but SSD Ethereum, you will most likely be given with this result. This is Yorick's site, and there is a list. There is a list of drives
that's
that
the
are
place to go,
actually,
definitely.
yeah. If you are planning to buy SSD, you need to look on this because yeah, most of brands are mentioned here. Some are actually listed that like not quite enough to sync to have a sync on the mainnet Ethereum. Like by the way, if you are getting a sync on Goerli or Holesky, it doesn't yet mean that you will sync on the mainnet because the load there is like significantly bigger. So yeah, I wanted to show you this stuff because yeah, it's important when we are picking the drive you want to buy. But in different scenarios like SBCs, these single board computers, like it is important to be aware what kind of Linux kernel you're using because yeah, I've got like I use different stuff. I test different clients on different platforms just to have a knowledge what's about that. Let's say the ultimate config,
Yeah, of
what
course.
we are going here. So yeah, this is how fast or how slow my drives are working in these small ARM-based computers. But in this one, in this system, like it works like twice or 3 times faster. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that this is important stuff. Sorry for having a mess here with these dashboards, but I wanted to move to something else now. Or actually, this is pretty same. This is my home node. It's a mainnet node, but I consider it as a test node because I'm not doing any validation here. I'm not staking my Ethereum. I'm just checking what's best for this limited config. Why it's limited? I will try to show you. This green one. I hope you can see that. Are you? Can you
Yeah, yeah, we
confirm?
can see it. We can see it
All
perfectly.
right.
It's The
So
size, it's amazing.
yeah, so this is a Radxa Rock 5B. Yeah, currently working. We will look on the dashboard in a minute. And this is a Nano PC T6. This is a basically same thing, but it has a different case, much better case in my opinion, because it's really solid. And these green things, this green part is actually plastic. This is like
Oh
fully
yeah, because
metal
just from
case.
the footage from the video, it looks like the other one it should be
Mm.
heavier, but as you mentioned, it's not the case.
Yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to show you that because this kind of stuff is very, very cheap, like much cheaper than a Intel NUC, for example, that I have in my different apartment. But it's it also draws significantly less power. I mean, like electricity, it draws like 7 watts, so it's even 3 times less than my Intel-based computer.
Wow, that's
So in the perspective on 1 year, or I don't know, 5 years of staking, like it's a significant cost to power up your computer, right? Especially if you are living in New York or different expensive
yeah,
places.
and everything you manage to save, it's it's a profit. So
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, this kind of stuff is very cheap, and it draws just a little of power, but it has main disadvantage that you cannot expand it. You cannot put more memory to it. For example, you can put a bigger SSD, for example, but yeah, some people are not quite comfortable to have 16 gigs of RAM, as I do have in both of these devices. So yeah, I'm trying to prove that there is an ultimate config that would give us sufficient headroom in terms of both CPU and memory. And as you can see, this is like basically, I set up this node just today, just for you, because this is Nimbus and Get. So this is the configuration we will use in our next release
yes, that's correct.
on Diva. So yeah, because if I will show you how it looks like, I don't know, in last 30 days. So the first config was, I think, it was Nimbus and Nethermind. Then I was thinking, like I was still using Nimbus, but then I used Besu for the execution client. And yesterday evening, I started to sync Get. So this is Get and Nimbus.
How
All of
many
these,
nodes are Infer? It's asking how many nodes are you running at home
uh, one at the moment.
at the moment? Okay.
But I was running like 2 or 3 sometimes.
And you've been testing as well a lot of different setups, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken,
yeah.
right?
But like, yeah, but like I've got a different home as well, and like the second piece of the equipment that Intel based is yeah, I'm having a VPN, right? So yeah, this is one network. So
And
I feel that like the PC based is in the other room. Let's
yeah.
say.
And there's one more question. Is this like a solution to run multiple nodes on a single nuke, or is this just multiple machines? That's a question that we have in the chat.
I don't quite understand. Like, could
If
this
this
person elaborate?
you have this setup, if this solution, it's for running multiple nodes on the same on the same machine that you're using right now, or it's only exclusively
Yeah,
for that
like
purpose.
I don't know what would be the purpose, but yeah, it's possible because you need only one pair of clients, like execution client and consensus client, right? So on over the top of it, you can have multiple divas, multiple solo validators that would work. So yeah, you can host more validators on this kind of equipment, but yeah, you only need a pair of clients, the execution and consensus. So yeah, this is just like I told you, this is like since this moment, this is fully synced get and Nimbus. I flashed my swap down manually here, and we can say that I would be very surprised to see RAM consumption above 70 in this config. So yeah, what I'm trying to tell you guys is that having a ARM-based node is entirely possible. Moreover, there are single board computers like that, and they can have 24 or 32 gigabytes of RAM. So even having even more memory headroom is possible here. And as you can see, like CPU consumption is not a problem. This is comparing to Raspberry 4 or Raspberry 5. This is a significantly faster piece of equipment. So yeah, this is how it looks. I would just show you how the dashboard looks. This is not my, like I modified it a little bit, but this is done by Diego. He's a guy, we've got him on the Diva Discord server. So this is a Linux distribution that it is including all of the clients that you need. They are all pre-installed and you are just basically run them as a service. Let me show you that.
I mean, it's basically everything. It's already described there. I mean, it just looks amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, this is my get working nice and clean. And it works on the level of, it's not Dockerized. This is not, this is working on the system level, let's say. So yeah, as I'm trying to show you, yeah, this is not a Docker. This is working like over the standard Linux. One thing, I've got my custom kernel here. So yeah, I'm trying to convince Diego to move into it because like the SSD is working like more than 20% faster with this kernel. So yeah, let's go back to the dashboard. Yeah, so again, this is all Diego's and his crew's work. Yeah, so basically we've got some basic stats. This is the thing I like because it shows how hot my SSD is, and it isn't hot. Like I bet many people would like to see this kind of temperature. I mean, 43 degrees. It's really good. Yeah, we've got some more detailed stats here
Yeah,
about
generally
the.
the parameters are very, very stable. Except those on the
Yeah,
RAM, you had the small peak some days ago, but beside that, everything else was.
yeah, but like you have to consider that yeah, I was like having 3 different clients here. So yeah, when you are syncing, the consumption is significantly higher for both CPU and memory. So yeah, but after all, when you are synced, it's looking pretty nice.
You
As you
mentioned
can
that
see, like,
you're running Nimbus, right?
I am.
Yeah, and of course, some days ago, Prada mentioned that for the next release, we will be switching as default the client Nimbus. And for that
Great
reason,
decision. I like it very much. Nice client,
yeah,
very
judging
low
by your
memory
dashboard.
usage. Mhm.
So that's why we invited today Zahari, he's the team lead of Nimbus.
And thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you very much for coming. We were just actually I wasn't aware that SMC was running Nimbus. That wasn't prepared, believe it or not. But I'm really happy that that he loves it and he's had it running on.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm not gonna lie. I think we've got 7 minutes left, so I need to leave the floor for you, Zachary, now.
Well, we can
So
extend
yeah.
it a little bit longer. There's no rush. We don't have to stick up to exactly 30 minutes. We can go a little bit over.
Well, I already where's my? I already stopped to share my screen, so perhaps I will just tell you a bit more about that dashboard. sharing once again now. Yeah, because there are many interesting things there that you can like copy. Basically, you can copy that to your system. So yeah, let's switch to some higher time frame. Let's say 7 days would be nice. As you can see, when you are syncing, like the bandwidth usage might get big, to say the least. Like 300 megabits is something. I think it would be better to show you 30 days because I want to mention one thing. As I already told you, one of these configs was Nethermind. Yeah, this was config in the middle. And as you can see, it was using significantly more SSD space. There are trade-offs because it's using much less RAM memory than different clients, but just it takes more space. However, you can prune it. Yeah, you can get rid of this unwanted data you've got at some point. But still, you have to do it. It's always better to have a client that it's just not taking that much space on your SSD. Get is the best one because it now auto prunes. And yeah, the usage, the consumption isn't big comparing to Nethermind, for example. I'm not a fan of Get. To be honest, you probably know the reasons, the super
Yeah,
majority problem.
we do.
But what I can do, and this is like, in my opinion, this is the best execution client. So yeah, but I just don't like to use it.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah,
that's
so
one
you
of the
can,
reasons, of course, because it's the best one that so many people are using it, but that, of course, creates a lot of risks as well.
yeah, you can see all of the memory stats here as well. Perhaps I will just switch to one day. So all of the information about memory usage, swapping, let's say, yeah, here it is clearly visible that it was swapping the memory to SSD when I started when I ended to, where was that? Well, at the start of taking a snapshot, most likely. Yeah, I think I'm sure about it. This is just time sync information about system processes. This is not relevant at all.
Dennis is asking if you have a list of metrics you track on the dashboard.
Yeah. Actually, but as this is a test setup, I just haven't
Okay, I see.
ever finished it. But this, for example, is very important for me because like it gives me an idea about the SSD usage. The stuff I am mostly interested in are these two graphs, these two charts, and I don't like my systems to swap. Right, so after a sync, I'm not expecting this swap to rise that high again because like it was syncing and now it's finished with sync. So yeah, I'm interested in the swap usage. I am very interested in IO weights because this is a kind of a system lag. I'm not sure, guys. Do you know? Like, I will try to show you something. This is the attestation rate in a validator. It has to be perfect, like, because if it's not perfect, you are just losing your daily consensus rewards. And it can happen because of different reasons. For instance, if your system is laggy, like perhaps it's swapping, perhaps the SSD is slow, or perhaps the CPU consumption is high, it can affect your attestation rate. So I'm interested how my system behave because if I would have these lags, like the IO weight, for example, on a, let's say, bigger level, that would definitely affect my attestation rate. This is my Twitter, by the way. I'm just launching it to show you my first config I did, and it was using this previous legacy kernel I told you about. I wasn't entirely happy about these IO weights here. I hope that's visible because like the rate, these peaks were significantly higher. And I'm like entirely sure that it would affect my attestation rate. So I'm just looking on all of these stats. These are most important for me, these two. What else? There are some basic information about network statistics as well. But yeah, just to cut the chase and try to finish that presentation, there are
We have one more
more
question, if you would like me.
Yeah, please go on.
Are you running the Diva Smart Node and ETH Docker together? If so, what is
Yes,
ETH
I
Docker
am.
doing in addition to the Smart Node?
What's the smart node? We don't have any smart node. I mean, we are not using any Rocket Pulse smart node. So let's go back to that machine. These are all of the containers I have. Don't mind this one. This is something entirely else. This is entirely else as well. This is ETH Docker, all of it. And this is Diva. Don't ask me why I've got 2 times Prometheus. Ask Prada. So yeah, I'm basically running Diva in a container over ETH Docker. It requires some additional configuration that I described like 2 days ago on our Discord. But yeah, it's possible. Anyway, going back to dashboards, this is the very important dashboard as well. Because if you have any problems with attestation or missed blocks or something like that on the blockchain level, this will likely tell you everything. There are also dashboards for clients. This is get. This is the execution client. I'm not using this one because I'm not encountering any problems with get. So I'm actually not using this dashboard that often. And there are also consensus dashboards as well. And here I'm using Prism, right? No. Wait a sec. I think I just don't have this one configured, but it should work on the other one. Let's try. No, but I'm using Nimbus. Okay, let's go to Nimbus. Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm not looking on this dashboard every day because I just don't have any reason yet. I'm not validating anything with this node and I'm not even attesting, right? But if I would have some problems, I would definitely need to look on this. However, this basic dashboard is entirely sufficient for daily monitoring. So look, this is like mainnet Capella, and this is this is the same host, sorry. Wrong.
Meanwhile, you're
Yeah,
configuring
just
this. I'll leave you guys if you would like. We have a commemorative poll for this meeting as well. You have until the next 30 minutes, 27 minutes, if you'd like to mint it. The secret word it's Huddle 2. You need to do it from the phone app as usual. I'll leave you the details in the chat.
Saving that in my clipboard. All right, so I just wanted to show you the difference because this is Go early testnet. Nothing special. Synced all the time. Waiting for a signal from Prada to shut it down.
Very, very soon.
And yeah, this is the mainnet node. But as you can see, I was actually changing clients here, just like I told you. It's not visible, but yeah, these are the 3 configs I used. And basically that's it. Most of this stuff is ready by default in both ETH Docker and Ethereum on ARM. So even if you are not going to use any of this, you can basically copy that. So yeah,
Amazing,
I think
amazing,
that's it.
man. Like I mean, that presentation was was really, really insightful. I mean, I think a lot of community members were really eager to see something like this presented, especially by you, like the way you explained it and everything. I mean, wow. I mean, really, really amazing, really cool.
Thank you, but like, just like I told you, I haven't had any plan.
I
It
mean,
was nothing special.
your
So yeah,
improvisation,
that's
then it's
basically a
great.
summary of the stuff I was writing about on Discord
Oh, yeah,
for
everything
months
came like
already.
really, really natural from your side. So, I mean, amazing. And I
Thank
want to
you.
thank you again for joining us for this presentation. Now let's start with Zahari. First, I wanna apologize that the notice that I gave you for this presentation today was kind of last minute. Really, really apologize for that. I should have done it in advance. And thank you very much for joining us again for this call.
I'm glad to be here. Don't worry about the short notice.
Yeah, I mean, your response from you and your team was super fast. I'm really, really grateful. Next time, I promise I'll do it in advance. So, yep, please can you make a short presentation about yourself so that everybody can know you?
Sure. Basically, my work on Diva started 6 years ago. Prior to this, I was kind of one of the most active compiler engineers for the NIM programming language. And basically, one day, the founder of Status, the company behind Nimbus, and I came to the NIM forum and announced that Status is interested in building this Ethereum client for Ethereum that would put Ethereum in your pocket, so to speak. Basically, the goal was to make it really practical to run Ethereum on kind of handheld devices, phones, kind of setups like the one showcased here, with the kind of the lightweight possible consumption of resources. So, because on a handheld device, you don't want to drain the battery quickly. And basically, this has been our mission from the start. And we usually are also the team that is trying to make contributions to the Ethereum Light Client protocols, kind of to make it practical for non-validating nodes to consume the chain uh, as easy as possible and with as strong security as possible. Kind of, we are very excited about the particular vision of Diva because that's what we believe as well. Like, to have a truly decentralized networks, we should aim for having as many validators as possible, and then further breaking the validators into kind of having multiple operators operating the same validators. This is one step even further. And exactly in this sort of hardware that anybody can run at home is probably the best ways to truly decentralize the team.
Great, great, awesome. Well, with the recent, I mean, it's not it with the recent thing about client diversity. I mean, the issue usually it's more on the execution client, but from the consensus client, are you feeling uh, have a lot of other projects as well? Have are there other projects that have approached you, like to take the same step as Diva has done?
Well, I mean, we are seeing Nimbus kind of started a little bit slow initially when the beacon chain was launched. Part of this was the fact that in the NIM ecosystem, a lot of the libraries that other teams take for granted, like we have to develop them ourselves, such as we write even our own networking library, and we implement libp2p on top of it, and so on and so forth. So basically, shortly before the launch of the beacon chain, we were still very much focused just to kind of make it to the finish line on time, while all the other teams were kind of already building communities, uh, polishing their documentation, user experience, and so on and so forth. So this hurt the adoption of Nimbus in the initial months, and kind of we've gradually made some wins over the years, like some large operators have switched to Nimbus, things like that. There's now some Nimbus exclusive kind of operators that run exclusively Nimbus. So we are seeing our adoption improving, but there's still kind of way to go.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess after the Nethermind event was like a catalyst for everyone to start paying attention again to the client diversity. But yeah, I mean, on the consensus side, of course, as I mentioned earlier, everything is looking way better. There's some room for improvement, of course. Nimbus just keeps climbing. But yeah, I mean, it's not even close how the situation like with the execution clients is.
Well, I mean, we're working on solving this problem as well. Like, we're building our own execution client. Hopefully, 2024 will be the year it goes into production, and kind of we believe that it will live up to our brand of having the most efficient, lightweight client possible. Something that we are focusing is kind of small storage footprint, because we believe that's kind of the most difficult part of running an execution client right now. And again, by leveraging our efficient libraries and the fact that NIM itself is very efficient as a language, we believe we'll have a very compelling solution from the get-go.
Awesome, awesome. That's really great. I mean, another execution client. I mean, that just adds up to everything. Guys, any last minute questions you would like to add? Three, two, one. Okay, let's see. Dennis is preparing something. Okay, Dennis is asking is if you would cap at 33%. I mean, I don't want to make it like an official statement, maybe, but is there any internal maybe talks about it?
Is this a question for the Nimbus team? I mean,
Yes, yes.
sure. I mean, we would support an initiative like this. I mean, one question is how could you actually enforce something like this? Because kind of we don't want the software to fall home or do anything like that. But otherwise, we're definitely supportive of keeping parity with the other clans when it comes to market adoption.
No, yeah, that's great. I mean, just the idea of it, it's very compelling. Just to avoid getting into an extreme situations that, although get its market share, it's getting lower, but still, there's this kind of commitments are great.
Something that we believe, and it's a bit less relevant, I guess, for kind of the use case of Diva, but we try to build kind of features that allows you to run the Nimbus, either the beacon node or the validator client, with multiple. Say we can use, for example, the Nimbus validator client with all the beacon nodes. It works like the vouch validator client in that regard. It would talk to all of them, and it would pick the most profitable block proposals, which are supplied by one of the beacon nodes. And we have the same functionality in the beacon node as well, where you can pair it with multiple execution layer nodes and can drive them at the same time. And it can even detect kind of consensus bugs in the implementation potentially. If the two execution clients disagree regarding the validity of a particular block, the Nimbus beacon node will kind of halt the block publishing process in order to prevent the possible risk that implementation bug in get may end up being finalized by the network. Like this would be a pretty kind of catastrophic outcome that most of the implementation teams are kind of always a bit scary about.
No, yeah, I mean, totally. That it is it is exactly how you explained it. Um, okay, guys. I think that was the last question that we have. I want to thank both of you again. Thank you very much for joining us for this second operator huddle call. I think we had a lot of information. Went a little bit over the time, but totally worth it. I mean, the information that you both provided, all the insights, it was amazing. I really want to appreciate you one more time for that. And yeah, well, maybe in the future editions we can regain this conversation, continue from here.
And thanks for having us once again, guys, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much. Bye, guys. Have a nice evening.